Morning everyone, and welcome back to the Runpreneur vlog, where we talk about all things entrepreneurship and running. It's a beautiful morning, really cold. It's like -1 degrees, it's glove weather, not too windy, so pretty good running conditions, just a bit fresh. You've got to layer up correctly. And it is Tuesday Tactics, where we talk about all things business systems and outsourcing, stuff that you can kind of integrate into your business, hopefully as quickly as possible to help you on your journey. And today's topic I want to talk about is structuring, company structure when you own multiple companies. It's quite an important one. I'm not a tax advisor, but I'll give it a go. Anyway, as always, if you like this episode, please make sure you don't forget to give it a like and a subscribe. Most appreciated. So, company structure for multiple companies. Like I say, first disclaimer is I'm no financial or tax expert. I have taken a lot of advice from varying qualified sources over the years, and I think I've got something right now that kind of works for me in my current situation, but that's not to say it's going to work for you in your current situation. So the first thing to add is that this is often very, very personal to your own personal situation, and when you're looking at being tax efficient, it can obviously come into play with regards to the circumstances of your partner, your spouse, your business partners, all these types of things, whether you've got kids, all these types of things that need to be considered. So, as you're aware, I've got 6 companies, active ones anyway. There are a few more that are kind of lingering around that are just in place just to clear off historical debts and things, as there's been a number of failed businesses as well. But I'm pleased to say that the 6 that I have actively trading are all profitable, which is a massive bonus. I think something to be said for that. If you can have the capability of having multiple businesses and turning a profit on each, it's quite a good way to be tax efficient in its own right, cost charging across the companies, and also you can spread your labour resource accordingly. So if it's a bit tight for one business, you can often move your resource around. Morning. Just trying to get past this van. But I wouldn't recommend it unless you're experienced in business, because if you think running a single business can be overwhelming, stressful, create entrepreneurial anxiety, then running 6 can be truly challenging unless you're experienced enough to deal with it, which is what this vlog is hopefully helping many of you become. So, company structure. Well, as I've said, personal circumstances are super important. Ultimately, you're looking at ways and means you can be as tax efficient as possible. So you have to ask questions about your circumstances and anybody who's directly related to you, their circumstances, i.e. if you have a husband or wife, then are they working, are they not working? Because what we're trying to build here, and I'm only part way on this journey, is I'm trying to get as many of the tax allowable kind of structures in place as quickly as possible to mean I'm paying as little tax as possible. So it's all about kind of tax efficiency. So you're always going to want to take the allowances every year. So i.e. if you're not already employed, you get a taxable allowance to be on the payroll as a salary, and you also get dividend payouts. So if you're taking payments by dividends, you get a level that you can withdraw in a tax efficient way without tax-free, without having to pay tax on it. So that's really, really important. So they're the first couple of things. So make sure you get the more commonly known freebies addressed. So many people don't, yet you're just leaving money on the table if you don't go down that way. Oh look, if you look ahead of me, Sam, who's the video editor. That pink hat that we're running towards is my wife. She's gonna love the fact that I'm running past her and her friends today. But anyway, back to the topic. So that's the first point. You want to cap out on your tax allowances for you and your partner. So if you've got kids that are older as well and they're not employed, again, you can put them on the payroll, and again, it's a way of getting money out of the business in a tax-free way. So that's number one. But secondly, like I say, having multiple companies gives you lots of flexibility, so you can control the profit levels in each different business. We also do a lot of cross-charging across companies as consultancy fees. Now it's all above board and clear, but just going to run past my wife 1 second and I'll carry this vlog on. Excuse me.
Oh my
goodness. Morning, wave. So anyway, that's the wife and her friends. But so as I was saying, you can cross charge and keep the profit levels at the level you kind of want to be maximum efficient. You can also put a lot of expenditure through companies. Now it has to be, you need to take some advice here from your accountant. So just got a van trying to come past me. It's one of my old school pals. But anyway, so you can put a lot of expenditure through each business as long as it's kind of related to the running of a business. And you need to take advice from an accountant before you do this, otherwise you can get yourself in all sorts of trouble. And what I generally do is I try and put as much through as I possibly can, and then the accountant will go through it and tell me you can't do that or you can do that, and that kind of keeps me sane and safe in that regard. But how do I structure from a shareholdings, and how is it all structured basically? So what I have a holdings company that me and my wife are 50% shareholders of and directors of, and ultimately that company is then the shareholder of all the other partnerships I have in the other companies. And the reason that's important is because mine and my wife's tax circumstances are very different to, say, one of my business partners. I also have the added challenge of there are multiple different businesses with slightly different shareholdings, and when you go to that kind of level, it's just far easier having a holding company in there, especially as I share everything with my wife. It just makes it a lot cleaner to kind of do so as a holding company, being a shareholder and taking dividend payments into that holdings company, and then it's mine and my wife's kind of personal tax situation where we can control that. We can control that how we take money out of Brittain Holdings, which is my holdings company. So that's a pretty cool way of doing stuff, that I remain in complete control. So all of our tax and everything comes out of that account. So we income bucket. I think I've talked about profit first in the previous episode, which is super important for how you can stay on top of your finances and maintain a high level of profitability. So that's pretty much how it's structured. And then I don't take dividend payments as such from the companies, because you've got to get the money out into your personal account. When I said taking dividend payments, we invoice from Brittain Holdings as a consultancy fee to each company for my wage, and then I take dividend payments out of Brittain Holdings. So it's just to try and, obviously you don't need to pay tax twice. Whenever you move, if you move money between companies too frequently, then inevitably be kind of tax liability that you have to kind of tackle. As I said, this is just my very basic understanding of why we've got it set up. I have a financial director who manages all this for me, and sometimes understanding a little is more dangerous than It's more dangerous than understanding nothing. But let's wave to my wife and her lovely friends. Hello. My wife was absolutely cringing there. I hunt her down when she's on her walks. A bit sad, I know, but you've got to have something to motivate you on these cold, wintry mornings. So yes, that's pretty much how we're structured. If I was going to bring a summary to this episode, it would be 1, get some professional and qualified advice on this stuff. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, everybody's circumstances are unique, and you need to fully appreciate that. This is not a one-size-fits-all. You need to understand who's involved, who are you directly related to that would be involved, just kind of by proxy. And once you understand that, you can then formulise a bespoke plan for you. So make sure you're fully aware of that. Just because your business partner's doing something in a certain way, it might work for him, doesn't mean it's going to work for you. So really, really important to kind of understand that. Number 3, if you've got multiple businesses, a holdings company is advisable, pure and simply because you can extract money out, kind of cost charging across the companies via consulting fees into the holdings company, and then you've got full control how you pull it out in a tax efficient manner. If we're pulling dividends out of another company, then ultimately the partners would all get the same amount, even though one partner might say, oh, I don't need it this month, I'm going to have to pay extra tax on it. But because somebody else wants it and it goes through, then that person's going to be penalised from a tax position. So that's why it's super important to try and have a holdings company, certainly if you're involved in multiple businesses. Even if you've just got one business with other partners, then it's still advisable. It just gives you far more flexibility in how you want to run your own personal tax affairs. And then the final one is, because it's so cold, I'm sweating. But anyway, the final one is make sure you tap into your kind of personal tax allowances, i.e. your tax-free limits. For if you're on the payroll of your holdings company, you can be paid X amount without paying any tax. In the same regard, you get a dividend allowance as well per annum. You've got all sorts of little tax hacks, and I'm learning these at the moment, and I'll certainly update you on the journey over the next 6 months as I gradually implement more and more into my infrastructure. But at the moment I have a very kind of basic infrastructure, but for the first time in a long time it at least feels clean, which is super important. Whereas before I've always had messy structures that have been confusing and difficult, and you end up paying a fortune trying to correct them all. So I hope that's been useful. As always, if you've got any questions on this, just drop me a comment. I'll respond to everyone. If it's a bigger topic, I'll still respond, but I'll try and do a separate vlog episode and tag you in. If this is irrelevant to you at this stage, no problem, just unfollow. Not a problem there at all. But don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, where all the full-length versions of this vlog are all catalogued nice and neatly by playlist. And I'm hopeful that there'll be something in there at some point in the future you'll be able to tap into on an ad hoc basis, completely free of charge. Also, don't miss out on the Facebook Runpreneur community group as well, where we'll post all the free resources of this vlog. So again, hopefully there'll be some good free stuff in there that will help you at some point in your journey. So all that's left to say is that the Runpreneur vlog was set up to help entrepreneur business owners overcome stress, anxiety, overwhelm by using exercise, in my case running, as a mechanism to control, manage and thrive under these emotions that every single entrepreneur and business owner experiences. And quite often the difference between success and failure can be down to how the entrepreneur controls these emotions. If you control them well, you thrive. If you don't, it causes pressure. Pressure builds up, and then something breaks. And one of two things normally breaks: it's the entrepreneur or the business. Either or, unfortunately, can often be terminal to the success chances of you and your business. So I've been there. I've still got dormant companies set up that are paying off debts from previous past failures, because things got too much. felt out of control, overwhelmed. I hit rock bottom, and it's a horrible, horrible place. And I think there's another thing to be considered here. It's entrepreneurial pride. We're such a proud bunch. We often don't want to talk, and if we can't find anybody we can trust to talk things through with, or have a way to release the pressure, it just builds up and builds up and builds up, and we bury our heads in the sand, and then things go wrong. And I found another way, and I always said that if this vlog just helps one entrepreneur, one business, it's been 1,000,000% worthwhile. So my pledge is that I've had people do this already. If you are an entrepreneur and you're feeling these pressures, you need some help in trying to overcome them and manage them more effectively, drop me a message. Absolutely, there's no catch here whatsoever. No sale, no nothing. All I'm going to do is jump on a call. I'm going to try and help you. And I've got experience in this, and I'm managing more than I've ever managed before in my life. Yet I feel far more in control, and I feel like I'm thriving under the pressures, whereas before I'd crumble. So if that's you, drop me a message and we'll jump on a call, and I'll see if I can help you out. So that's it for me today. All that's left to say, if you like this video, please don't forget to give it a like and a subscribe. If you want to watch more similar videos, click on the playlist tab, and you'll see all the different playlists that we operate on the channel. And finally, as always, stay positive, stay happy, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.